I know only I can stop the rain. It's not that we gotta do what we do, it's what we know. So to me it ain't nothing but being true. But now I know only I can stop the rain. It doesn't have to be the way it is. You say it is just because for the past 20 years every day it is. Now I know.
Mr. Arsenio, I've met you this past weekend and we had a nice talk about some things, and you really enlightened me on another side of life and what people go through and the obstacles that people are trying to overcome. So with that being said, what I'll ask you is, how old are you?
I'm 23 years old.
23 years old?
23.
Okay, can you also tell me a couple of things on how you grew up?
Growing up for me, it was, I say, tit for tat. Like, you know, my mom, she worked all the time. She really didn't really teach us too much to like experience in life, or you know, get to see the outside of life, or you know, pretty much like go to the IX Center, or you know, go to the zoo, or pretty much just to pursue our lifestyle and to make us better. So it was more, she was more of a provider than like a teacher. So my dad in some such, like he was in the military, and you know, he came home from the military, and you know, his way of discipline was something serious, something that I wasn't used to. So with him, you know, he's been in my life since I was a child. So like from the beginning to the end with him, it was just something strong. Like his way of discipline was his way of disciplining me. Like when he came home, like I would get in trouble in school, like he would whoop me and, you know, not talk to me afterwards. So it was just like, if you do this is what you get, you know. So, and at the same time of him doing that, it kind of made me angry, you know, and it started making me build up anger and, you know, hold grudges and, you know, like be depressed because I felt like that I was being neglected and abused and wasn't loved. So, you know, it was difficult, but, you know, I feel like everything that I went through in the past made me the man I am today. So.
Okay, so these are some of the things that you endured as a child in your life.
Yes.
Okay, so now that you're a young man, we face the factor that you have openly admitted to me that there's a situation in your life that you're fighting by yourself. Am I correct?
By myself.
By yourself to overcome this. And you want people to know that they can do the same thing. Can you please elaborate on what this situation is that you're trying to overcome?
The situation that I am trying to overcome is a worldwide situation that everybody's trying to overcome. I was an addict to heroin. I would use every day, every second of the day, every minute of the day, and it all started with prescription drugs, and that's what leads you there. So, you know, right now I'm just like in the midst of just staying strong. So it's definitely hard, but you know, I'm making it, and you know, I got my head held high, my chest sticked out, you know, and I got good support around me, and you know, I really want a lot of things for myself. So, and not only that, like I'm sick of being tired and, you know, like being down and not being able to see what life has in store for me. So, you know, I'm trying to see something different.
So, okay, since you're trying to see something different, can you give the people or the viewers that are watching this an example of some of the things that went on while you were under the influence of heroin?
Yeah, under the influence of heroin, it subtracted me away from family. It subtracted me away from love. I would rob people that was family members, and you know, I would do grimy stuff to people and wouldn't even think about, you know, how hard they worked for it, or you know, how much that stuff meant to them, or what it did for them, or how it made them feel at the end of the day. I didn't really care. I had a cold shoulder about everything, and you know, like the drug just it came over me to make me feel like that, because not only did the drug take over me, but it was a consistent hustle to keep the, you know, maintains of staying high, you know. So, you know, it took a lot to deal with, you know, just to stay high. But, you know, I feel like the drug, it possesses you to do whatever just to get it. So, yeah, I did a lot just to, you know, to protect the drugs. I feel like that's what I was doing, protecting it.
Protecting the drugs. Okay, that's understandable. I remember you mentioned to me that to be an addict is like to have a job.
Yes, it is. Very so much.
Can you elaborate what you mean by that?
It's just like a full-time job. It's, you know, you go to sleep. You know, I could like me. I would buy like a half a gram. You know, which is only like 0.5. I would buy like a half a gram or something like that. You know, and I'm a drug user, so therefore, you know, a half a gram would last me maybe a half of a day. So then when that drug was gone, you know, I'm on to the next mission. Or before the drug was gone, I would already be plotting on somebody else just so I can have my next fix, you know, my next high. And you know, it takes a lot. You know, you gotta find a ride. You know, you gotta call the dope man. You gotta, you know, it's a lot. You gotta pay for gas. You know, the struggle and how much thought and how much potential you put into getting the money is like ridiculous, because, you know, if you really put all that hustling that you do to get the drug into something positive, then you wouldn't even have to think about doing a drug, because if you had that much energy to do something that you really liked and used all that energy that you used to get them drugs, then you'll get the same outcome of, you know, like being high. That would be a high for you. You know, doing what you want to do in life, you know, because life is way too much precious to just let it go past you. And I feel like that's something I've been doing. But now since I just like came out of that, you know, I see the light, you know, I see everything that's around me, you know, like everything of me being sober, I value, you know, because you being high, it takes everything away from you, the value of life.
So I hear you mention the factor of you being sober. You know, you kind of, I guess you would say, missed a few things that were clear to you right then and there. What are some of the things that you could see now that you couldn't see before while you were under the influence or using, I would say?
You know, under the influence, I would not pay attention to the love that I had around me, you know, the support that I had around me. I wouldn't pay attention to the signs. There was a lot of signs that I wouldn't pay attention to. You know, you know, you get like the little man that's on your shoulder to tell you not to do it. I wouldn't pay attention to him, you know. And it's always good to listen to the first man, because he's telling you not to do it, and that's what you should not do it. And you know, it was a lot of things, for real, to be honest. But then was just a couple that I could just speak on right here now.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you have one favorable incident that you possibly can remember that you have done that I don't know how you felt about it at the time. I can only suggest that you probably felt like this was needed to do, I would say. Can you like really elaborate, like in detail, one, for instance, that really stuck out to you that made you feel like I need to make a change in myself?
Yeah, too much of me getting a lot of money and giving it away. Cause, you know, every little bit of money that I had, I would give it away. I wouldn't think about myself. I wouldn't think about if I was hungry, if I wanted something to drink. You know, I would spend everything I had on that, on drugs, and you know, it'd just leave me high and dry. So,
is there any family situations or anything that you wish to speak about at this present time to the people that's viewing this?
Family is very important. Family is very important. I feel like once you push family to the side, I feel like that's a cheap shot to yourself of being more closer to the drug, because I feel like the drug, it has its own personality. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that, you know, a lot of people say mind over matter. I believe in that, because I'm 23 years old, and I can honestly say that I picked my mind over the matter. You know, like, I want it to be clean, you know, and a lot of people look at it like, oh, you know, God is a higher power or such and such. There's a lot of ways that there's a lot of things that you have to be clear-minded of to use as your higher power. Like, I use my wife as my higher power. I use my son as my higher power, you know. I use now that I didn't use before, I use the earth as my higher power. The wind that blows, the sun that shows, you know, the wind, you know, just the free air. Because a lot of things get taken from you, you know, using drugs. Like your sense of smell get taken from you. You start losing your eyesight. You know, you can get hepatitis C just for using the same rig. You know, regardless of the simple fact if you're not using a rig or just snorting it, it's tearing up your body. And a lot of people ain't really looking at what it does to you because, you know, their mindset is stuck in one stage of mind, and that's just being high. You know, you don't really think about, you know, like, you don't really think about being healthy or eating clean or living for a long time. You're not thinking about dying the next day. You're not thinking about dying a minute from now or a second from now. You're not thinking about that. You just want to be high. And I just feel like, you know, life is more precious than just to die. You know, we're only 23 years old, or a lot of people are young using this drug. So, you know, everybody's like dying that's young. They're using this drug. This is a new age of drug that's killing everybody that's young. And there's older people that's using it too. But I feel like the older people that's using it, they're setting themselves up for their children to use, you know, because not only does a child want to image what their parents do because they feel like it's okay, but that's not okay. You know, that drug is not okay. You know, life is, that's how you got to look at it. Life is just way more precious, you know. There's a lot of things that could be done instead of just being stuck.
Okay. So now I will ask you one fatal question, which is, have you ever overdosed?
That's a good question. I have overdosed.
And what was that like?
It was so much of, I was dead. I didn't move. You know, I didn't wake up. I didn't remember anything. I didn't remember what happened. I just went out. And the scary part about it is that what if I wasn't around the people that I was around at that time when I went out? You know, there was nobody around me when I fell out, you know? So I look at everything that I've been through as a blessing, and I use it to wake up because, you know, this drug can kill you. And not only is it killing you, you're taking yourself away from, you know, your parents. And think about it, like, if you die, how does that make them feel, you know? They're gonna go through a lot of depression, you know, thinking about, oh, it's my fault that I didn't raise my kid right, you know, or it's my fault that I slacked in this area, or it's my fault that I slacked in this area, or maybe I should have took him to soccer that day. You know what I'm saying? So not only are you hurting yourself, you're hurting everybody that's around you too, because it's not that you're not loved, it's pretty much is that you're not loving yourself.
Okay, that's deep. That's like really deep. I have another question also. The people, I'm pretty sure, that's probably going to see this, they would probably wonder, like, how could one stay away from this?
Well, once you get the mindset, I feel like you gotta want it. Without you wanting it, you're never gonna make it. You gotta want it. And I feel like the object of staying away from it is you have to eliminate everybody that's around you. You have to change everything. I feel like you have to seclude yourself away from the situation. You know, you gotta be a part of something else. And how you do that is you start surrounding yourself with positive people and a lot of support, you know, and that's how you grow up out of it, you know, because you start doing things that you like, you keeping yourself busy, you keeping yourself motivated, you know, and then not only that, like, you get a job, you know, that's the first step. You get paid, you know, that's the second step. You know what I'm saying? Like, you starting to achieve things in life that life, you know, consists of you being a human being living on this earth, you know, because you got to pay light, you got to pay gas, you got to pay sewage, you got to pay water, you know, living on this earth ain't free. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like somebody that's doing drugs, you know, pretty much don't have a life. And I feel like everybody should have a life, you know, because, you know, you can't pay bills doing drugs. You know, you can't do everything that you want to do for your kids doing drugs, you know, because having a habit and doing drugs, that costs a lot of money. So you're taking from your kids, you're taking from yourself, you know, you're taking stuff that you can just, you know, achieve and do better for, you're just downgrading yourself. And I just feel like you shouldn't do that.
Now, when I met you, you told me that you had a talent that you were good at. And I asked you to show me this talent. I said that this talent could possibly be a chance for you to have a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what this talent is?
Well, and also again, another higher power, which I didn't mention, but since he brought it up, is me singing. I love to sing. I've been singing since I was 5 years old, so it's a passion for me. And what I get out of it is emotion, and that's how I relieve stress, is me singing. Because not only do I sing just to sing, but I sing to, touch people and to motivate people, and, to try to give them the vibe of, being loved or emotions, because that's where it really comes from. My singing comes from emotion. So when I do sing, I hope to touch other people. So that's my passion, is to touch other people.
So that's your passion, to touch other people. Okay. I want to ask you, is there any particular song that you would think of that you would sing sometimes, like to help bring yourself up? Or is it like various songs?
There's,
depending on your mood.
Yeah, I would put it just depending on my mood. But I'm into like R&B and like a lot of old school, which is like the Temptations and Otis Redding, Al Green, stuff like that. And not only that, like I listen to country music. I listen to all type of music. I don't discriminate. Because I feel like everybody that's in music have a message to send. So and with me having a message to send, I want to be able to elaborate with other people who have messages to send, because it's all a connection. So
if I was to ask you to sing something right now, would you be capable of doing that?
I would be so much capable of singing something for you right now.
Okay. Now, the reason I asked this young man this is because a lot of people think that when you're a drug user or an addict of any kind, a lot of people feel sometimes you don't have a worth or a talent, or you're not capable of doing this or doing that. This young man says right now he can sing a song to show people another side of him. Can I please hear something? I want to see what you got, man, because you look like you can blow.
Okay, I will give it a short little clip. This song is by Jay Holiday. It's called Forever and Enough. I hope you like it. Thinking back to the feeling that I had when I first saw your face, I knew that it was you. Some time has passed, and the feeling that I had before still all the same, 'cause you never changed, no. Even though I don't show it, girl, I just want you to know that even if we fight a million times over little things, we can still make it better. I meant what I said when I gave you that promise ring, that I'ma love you forever. It's just a little bit.
It's not that we gotta do what we do, it's what we know. So to me it ain't nothing but being true. But now I know only I can stop the rain. It doesn't have to be the way it is. You say it is just because for the past 20 years every day it is.